So now that we are in Goloka, the space of Goloka, the state of Goloka is very, very different. It's the ultimate state. And to be there, to interact with Radha and Krishna, to be in Radha and Krishna's place, and to continue functioning as Radha and Krishna, and to function as Radha and Krishna on Bhuloka, we have to have the right perceptions. So one of the perceptions that we need to have is that we are the other person too. So we learn like Paramatma is in everyone's heart. So which means everyone is Paramatma only, acting differently, covered with Panchakosha, 5 different layers. So there is a separation, how you perceive yourself, and there's separate other person. This is the basis of your ego, the self, right? Now, with this experience, even if it's not your personal experience, one person experiencing it and sharing is your experience because you're hearing it, right? That's your experience. Your life, in your life, you're listening to one experience, right? So it's just a matter of time when you also get it. You will get only if you're matured enough. 14 years of preparation she did so that she can slowly get to this. Now only she understands what is compassion, right? Before she is like, I have a lot of compassion, right? Now she understands compassion means feeling the other in their shoes. So that means you experience that person as that person. Without you in your Panchakosha, for a moment you became in their Panchakosha. So which means you don't know how to handle it. You don't know how to come out of it also. Suppose it's not in the process. It'll be very difficult for her to come out. So please try this only in the program. Whenever you are in the program only, you ask for this experience. Okay? Outside the program, if it occurs, just let it happen and come out, and then get help in the night daily meditation. Come and get help, because it's important that you disengage and disattune, dislocate, and locate yourself in your Panchakosha, right? Because that person has been handling his Panchakosha for years. So immediately you entering it, and you won't know. It'll be like a hell for you. You won't even know how to come out of it. And the worst thing is the patterns also will start affecting you. So that is why you all want God realization, but you don't realize what it is. God realization is painful if other person is painful, and if you do not know how to handle it. It's not like this is the God realized state. It's not this state, but this is intermediary steps towards the higher state. Okay. During the intermediary steps, you start. It's like you have a circular land with let's say 5 circle land. The outer 5 circle land is other persons or next neighbor. You enter into their land, right? So that land is mess. But as you expand, God realization means you expand into everyone else and everything, right? So as you expand, you start experiencing the others' places also. Before, you have a boundary, like you don't disturb others, you don't let anyone else in, you don't go into anyone else's houses. So you have your boundary. So that is self-realization, I can say. It is not, even in self-realization, there is expansion. But you do contract yourself so that you can be functional in the world, right? God realization actually goes beyond even self-realization or enlightenment. In this regard, this is a complete God realization experience, what Brinda has got. Okay. What she went through, you can only know it when you go through it. You cannot understand at all. And you can go through it only when you mature enough for it, teaching wise. So then you expand into the next neighbor, and then expand to the next neighbor, and expand to the next neighbor. Then compassion arises. So compassion is an expansion into others' hearts. And then you expand into your parents, into your children, into your relatives, in-laws, and friends, enemies, the helpers, all those circles, right? All those circles. expand, so that you can exist in that God realization state. That is why some people take years to come out. Some people say, right, I went through some strange experiences, and then for 12 years I went into Himalayas for tapas, because they didn't know how to come out of it. Because they didn't go under supervision. Now I'm supervising her, right? So I can pull her out. So if a person does it by herself, or it happens by chance, then it's very, very difficult process. So please do everything, such processes, even emotional experiences, please do within the program. Come into the program and do it. Outside the program, you note it down. Inside the program, come and do it. So you will be like Apurva was sharing, Vani was sharing, like you don't have to handle it all, you don't have to experience it all, because it's infinite. When you start experiencing, you'll feel like, let me experience one more and then I'm done. So one more and then I'm done. Like that you'll feel. Let me do this one also. Then I'm done. Then I'm free from this. It never ends. Suffering. But the divine is infinite. The divine can take you to higher places. So that's the state of compassion, and that needs transformation. Transformation is you start feeling that you are Radha and Krishna, and then you start serving as Radha and Krishna for Radha and Krishna. That's a state of transformation. It's full of compassion. On a higher level, you don't experience other suffering. You start cleansing. So that is the next step. I'm not sure how far I can take you. This is the initial steps. God realization state is not a suffering state. Don't get it wrong. Just like job, right? You just jump into a very high job, you start suffering because you don't know how to play, right? You don't know how to work. But that's not the job, right? That's because you didn't know how to function. Job is easy, but you didn't know how to do it. So don't get it wrong. It's a very ecstatic, extensive experience, continuous and forever, and beneficial for everyone. Zero hurts in you or others. Zero negative emotions. That's the God realization. Higher states. But you climb through levels. So we have the process of getting through the layers of Goloka, and then Radha and Krishna's love. Remember? Helper's love, Seva, parental, Valsalya, Sakya, friendship love, Madhurya, Gopi's love, Madan, Mohan, Radha and Krishna's love, Man, pain of separation in Goloka, Sneh, Prem, Rag, Anurag, Mahabhav, Bhav, all those states. Let's get into those spaces. So, if you like to experience Krishna, you can only experience if you become Radha. So, this human being God realization experiences where you become the other is practice to know how to become the divine. If you become the divine, like you all want to, like, I want to become Radha and Krishna, that's at the end of it. If you become the divine, you wouldn't know how to function as the divine. That practice happens in your current relationships here. That is why your husband, your wife, spouse, parents, friends, relatives, so-called enemies, all of them are your practice grounds for your God realization. That's why there's no rejection in life. There's no, I don't want this person. I want to cut off this relationship. This person is not spiritual. That person is material. This person is, anchor. This person is lustful, this person is hating, this person is greedy. There's nothing like that. There's no other person. The what is there is Radha and Krishna in everyone. So that perception, when you get it, you're ready to get to the higher states. Okay. So what's the first level? Like we saw yesterday, is like experiencing the hurts others caused in you. Second step is experiencing the hurts you caused in others. Then when we get into Goloka, we get the love Radha and Krishna is experiencing. Like Vrinda was saying, I asked, what's your feeling, how you see through your eyes? Now, it may seem impossible, or it may seem like very high level state analysis. Actually, that's our natural state. How you were perceiving the world when you were 1 month old. You were 1 month old once, correct? 2 months. You also were. When you see children, you treat them as though you were not 2 months. You were also 2 months old. 3 months, 4 months. How we used to perceive? The way Radha and Krishna perceives. That's why we say children, when they're born, when you go near the children, you have to have positive feelings about the child. So if a child is born and you go to see a child, and internally you'll be like, what an ugly child. Externally, oh, so cute thing, my God, nice thing, like that. But internally, what you feel is what the baby will perceive. So baby will be like, I'm an ugly child. Baby will feel it. For lifetime, it will keep. So especially for 6 hours. First 6 hours is imprinted into the consciousness. First 6 hours, first month, then that's the most sensitive time. First 6 months, more sensitive, like that. Okay? So you separated out from people and formed your ego self. Now God realization is getting back to that state. So that's why I say it's a simple state. That's your natural state. That's the state you have had. So it's not something out there. But definitely it's not just the child state, because now you have more awareness and knowledge, intellect, matured intellect, Jnanamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, all matured enough with knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Garga Samhita, all of that. So now you're getting ready to be functional in God realized state, where you start manifesting everything that you like to have, including intelligence, compassion, seva. See, the gurus that we have had, but that we have, for example, Kripal Maharaj, this is in that state all the time. Mahant Swami Maharaj is in that state all the time. And they're very functional. That's how I learned. That's why I say it's not impossible, because we can go meet Mahant Swami Maharaj personally and get an experience how he feels. So how Vrinda feels, right? That's how experience gurus. So you ask, like, how do you know, like, how do you experience your gurus? That's how I experience. I become them, and when I'm experiencing them, there's no me in me. I'll become them, and then I'll calculate, experience their states. Also in time, I travel back into Krishna's time, enter into Krishna's body, and experience in this way actually. Similar way, not exact, similar way. And then I get what is Krishna's experience, Krishna's consciousness, Krishna's perception. What is Kripal Maharaj's perception, Mahant Swami Maharaj's perception. So then I check, is practically applied by even at least one person? Yes. Then how does he perceive? How does he feel? That's how, then I check, oh, this is very similar to Krishna. Then it is possible for me. Then it's possible for you, like that. Right. Okay. So now let me ask, what is the process?